Poet, former minister, former cricketer.
People recognize you in every...
I don't mind that. I love that.
You have friends.
Of course you do have friends. You have to have friends.
Arranged marriage you want?
No, I mean, obviously you want to fall in love, but back then my brother used to tease me, my friends used to tease me. Got to be very mushy, very romantic.
Ek to gaa do na.
You don't want your audiences to run away.
When is the next heartbreak happening?
Oh, the first one was in 2014 with BJP, second one was BJP 2019.
Welcome to the Suvir Saran show. Today's guest is a man who will be the future leader of India and a leader the world will listen to and follow. A man who represents Worli, where I live, and a man who's read, who's written, and who's traversed the globe with a hunger that matches few others. Aaditya Thackeray. Aditya, thank you for joining me. The Lalit Hotel was inaugurated by your grandfather, BALASAHEB. How does it feel to be sitting in a chair in this studio here talking to me?
Feels good to be back. You know, Mumbai has always been a city of delight. It's always been a city of dreams. It's always been a city of aspirations. Hotels are landmarks and the food that you get in all of these places. So we're proud of the culture that we hold as Mumbai.
So you are the MLA from my district. I live in Worli. Isn't Worli part of
Yes.
your? Worli is the face of New Bombay. I think it also links South Bombay with Bandra and beyond. How is it to be a Worli MLA?
You know, to be honest, when I was looking out for a constituency, I wanted to choose a constituency which is sort of a microcosm of India. Again, you look at Worli and you've got almost every socio-economic strata there. You've got our age-old and traditional Koliwadas, the fisher folk live there. You've got a large number of slums which have gone into redevelopment now. You've got some of the best and the biggest buildings coming there, luxury apartments happening there. You've got the chawls, especially the BDD chawls, which have always been there. Now, after 100 years, we're redeveloping them. Some of them will get their homes now in the next 2 or 3 months. So you've got every person from every part of India living there. Like I said, it's a reflection of India. It's a reflection of Mumbai. It connects the north to the south. Very soon with the Worli-Shuri connector, you'll have the connection from the west to the east and the east to the west. So everyone who has to pass through Mumbai has to pass through Worli. So I wanted to sort of serve the people there and also work for a constituency that reflects India at large. So very happy to be representing Worli, and they've elected me for the second time. So very humbly, always thankful and grateful to them.
How actively do you walk around the chawls of my neighborhood? When I'm on the 45th floor of the Omkar building. When I look down, first time I saw all these buildings that look very modular. And one day my cleaning person said to me, "मैं वहाँ पे रहता हूँ." And I said, "कहाँ पे?" And I said, "वो क्या?" He said, "वो chawl है." And I was shocked. I said, "Well, that's the chawl." He said, "Oh, it's a vertical chawl."
Yes.
So he said, "Pehle nahi utha aisa." And I said, "Is it clean, safe?" He said, "Very." And he was very proud. And he told me that you all have served them very well.
Thank you. You know, in fact, chawls are in Marathi known as tsar, which is, chawl is the anglicized version of the tsar. And typically, if you roam around, you must come for one of the festivals there. And many of them are now being developed into buildings. Of course, there's a little fear that the festive mood will go away, but hopefully the people will remain and people will keep celebrating the festivals. But obviously, when you walk into a tsar, the mood there is so joyous always. No door is locked, no door is closed, nothing. And you walk into a tsar, you walk into the courtyard, and you see everyone around from all four sides just coming in to welcome you and give you the love.
So tell me, when Ganpati was founded and created, it was a neighborhood community festival.
Yes.
That brought everybody together. It didn't matter rich or poor, how you worshipped. Ganpati brought people together. Does that spirit live on even
Yes,
today?
it does. It does. And the mandals are, of course, big. You know, again, like I said, Mumbai has these nuances of cultures. Almost every religion has its celebration going on. All 12 months a year, you will have some religion celebrating some festival. And of course, I think being a part of it, you always feel for the first few months, okay, there's traffic here, traffic there, Google Maps showing you red. But once you start looking around outside your window, and not for the dug up roads, that is the bad part of the traffic. But once you start looking around for Ganpati or Mount Mary or, Navratri, you start also in Diwali, you see the lanterns everywhere. You start living Mumbai, you start breathing Mumbai. And once you're a Mumbaikar, I don't think any other city will really attract you as much, because the whole beauty in that chaos is something that really makes you a Mumbaikar.
So I'm a Delhi-born boy who lived in New York for 32 years. I've come back to India and I call Mumbai my home.
Yes.
Because I tell people this is as close to magic as it happens.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
For all the reasons you've
see,
said.
in New York or in Delhi, you'll have traffic stoppages for VIPs, right? You'll have the UN congregating and you'll have traffic stoppages for that. You will have in Delhi, the Prime Minister or whoever passing by and traffic stoppages for that. In Mumbai, you will have traffic stoppages for Ganpati Bappa procession or a Navratri
Or Mount
procession.
Mary.
Or Mount Mary or, all of these beautiful festivals.
In Delhi, we are entitled, we get off our cars, we talk down to people. In Bombay, nobody dare do it. And I think I see it happening to women walking at 4 a.m. without fear. Where does this come from?
See, I'll tell you, of course, obviously, there is a lot of, whenever you have Delhi friends, there's this whole Mumbai-Delhi thing, and it's a playful banter
There's a
that
Delhi
goes
boy
on.
doing it too.
But no, now you're a
Bashing
Mumbaiker.
Delhi.
Now you're a Mumbaiker, right? Mumbai respects merit. If you're a hard-working person, you have a hope to climb the ladder. You prove your merit, and you can climb the ladder.
You're noticed.
You can be a nobody, come into the city, and you can be the biggest of big people. You've had some of the biggest corporate houses living and finding Mumbai to be their home, Mumbai to be their headquarters. Mumbai's attracted aspirations, and Mumbai also, if you see, works 24/7. You can walk out on any street at whatever
It's
time.
alive.
You may be a woman, you may be a man, you may be employed, you may be unemployed, speaking a different language altogether. Largely, you will find yourself to be safe in Mumbai.
So how does it feel to be walking at 3 a.m. as Aditya Thackeray? Have you ever left your security detail and said, "Main ghumne jaunga"?
To be honest, I've never felt the need to leave them behind because I've grown up amongst them, always found them to be family. Sometimes you get chatty with them. Sometimes when you have, space to do that, you can start having a conversation. There are times when in my childhood and in recent times also, you've ended up playing cricket with them where you're on an offside, you're on a tour and, you're not really engaged in a political rally or something. But apart from that, I do indulge in just going to, something like a bachelor's milkshake or an Ayub's roll.
It's like, I have those two on my list.
Yeah,
Are
yeah,
you
yeah,
in
yeah.
bachelors? Yes.
Yeah. And, you enjoy Mumbai.
But people recognize you.
I don't mind that. I love that. See, in politics, you work hard to be recognized. And if you start shying away from that, you don't need to be in politics. You need to be in some other field. You need to love what you're doing. And I would say these are the add-ons that if you're loved, how many politicians do you go up to and ask for a selfie? I think it's my good luck that people would want to come.
They come to you?
For a handshake or just,
And you oblige and you
I love it because it's a part of my profession and I work for this. If it's a good smiling face coming up to you, it's a great thing. If someone's coming up to you with a grouse saying, okay, this is what is going on in my area and you need to set it right, I think that's also some privilege you have because at least someone's hoping that you can set things right.
And when you were growing up, how old were you when you knew I'm going to follow in my grandfather and father's foot?
I think so I've grown up always in a household that's been largely about politics. Of course, my uncles and my aunts were in films and some of them in business and things like that. When you mentioned this hotel being inaugurated by my grandfather and
Mr. Suri.
Bachchan sir and Mr. Suri, you'll find a little boy.
You were young.
I was here with them. I just accompanied my grandfather. This was also my way of escaping homework. Just sit in granddad's car and move around. But I enjoyed my times just sitting with my grandfather for 22 years of my life. Almost every day that I was home. And we'd play cricket, playing cricket in his living room.
Did he play cricket as well?
Whenever he had meetings, anyone from who wanted to meet him to a minister who wanted to meet him or some of the biggest people like Michael Jackson or whatever. We always...
he met Michael Jackson?
Yeah, he had come home. The first time when I met Michael Jackson, I didn't know who he was. Of course, my parents were excited. The whole of the city was down in our, living room. I didn't know. Of course, when I saw the concert, then I was like blown away. And he's God in terms of music and performance and lyrics and whatever. But I've had this habit of just being around my grandfather. And whenever I've seen him trying to problem solve for some people, trying to, live up to the hopes of people, I thought this is the only field that you can have a huge impact through. The only and only profession where one decision can change lives is politics. The politicians can be a little edgy at times, but I think as a profession, it is a beautiful profession. Typically a politician is also a negative word to be used. Kya politician hai?
Wheeler dealer.
Office mein mere bahut politics chalta hai, dalal hai. That is the kind of connotation or negative tone we've given to politician because I think politics has gone down to that. It's for us to sort of speak of our work and try to clean it up, and you've got to jump into the muck to clean it up.
So when you're not being politician outside, what are you doing to cleanse your mind, to heal the long days you suffer. I've seen you engage everybody. You're a man who's very charismatic. You don't let anybody go without seeing you smile. How does this man who gives so much to others feed himself?
I'll be very honest. There is no fatigue or there's no wound that builds on by meeting the common people or meeting people at large who really have some hope from you. I find myself in a position where I'm thankful that people can ask and take from me rather than me asking someone and take from someone else. There have been times where you're feeling fatigued, you're feeling in a campaign trail, you're feeling fatigued, your body is hurting, you're feeling dehydrated, and you really want to just sleep. And then you get onto a sunroof of a car, or you get onto a rally stage where you're in the middle of people and you're right in the middle of the midday sun and you feel fresh again. Because that's the bubbling energy that hits you, right? And that's the aura that hits you. When you have these days that are sort of little relaxed and little chill, I sort of prefer to dabble in reading or catching up with the 2-3 close friends I have, just go for a drive. Or
you have friends?
Of course you do have friends. You have to have friends.
And close enough that you can trust them and they'll be there with you forever.
I mean, you've got to trust everyone in your profession and in your life. So you've got to trust, you've got to believe in the good of the people and keep walking.
Do you ever sneak up to a concert, a movie?
Yeah, many times. The most recent one being Coldplay. Also this event that happened recently called IPTIDA. It was like a nice baithak where Saran was singing ghazals and some of his famous and some of the lesser known songs also. So it's really nice. So I love music.
has done it homes, isn't it?
So it's a small nice baithak. Yes, it happens in Delhi apparently very often and started off in Mumbai also. Papon was there for the earlier one. I visited the one with Saran. It's really nice.
So you write poetry, you publish the book.
I used to. I call myself a former poet. Former minister, former cricketer.
No, but you're always that. All of these.
It's good to be a lot of formers.
So what kind of poetry do you like reading and writing?
Back then, it was almost a decade ago. It was really the mushy kinds of poetry which I'm like, oh God, how did I write this?
Was there heartbreak that led to it?
Not really, no heartbreak as such, but as a poet, you've got to try experiencing heartbreaks and you've also got to be very mushy, very romantic. Back then, my brother used to tease me, my friends used to tease me.
Brother's younger?
Younger brother. I look back at it and I'm like, okay, look away from it now.
So when is the next heartbreak happening? Because I want to read more of your poetry.
Oh, the first one was in 2014 with BJP, second one was BJP 2019. So, quite a few.
Now we have BJP, you are here, you are the favorite of the people. How do we get to you, leading us to Bombay's next amazing chapter?
I'll tell you right now, Mumbai is facing this dilemma where for the last 3 years, we don't have an elected municipal corporation. We don't have elected... Deliberately, because they're scared to hold those elections. The BMC, when we started serving in 1997 for a continuous streak of 25 years, it was in a deficit of 600 crores. By planning, by sort of controlling our finances very tightly and not raising hidden taxes or taxes on Mumbaikars, we added to the budget and we increased it to a 92,000 crore surplus of the BMC. Today what has happened is in the past 2 years, the regime that was unfortunate and unconstitutional broke those FDs and we are heading towards a debt-like situation again. Because the kind of money that they've given to the contractors, I think that is the bigger problem. Very openly, I told Mr. Fadnavis, who's now the Chief Minister, I said, look, you are the government today. I said, as the opposition party, we are not against you personally, and we're not against everything that you will do. Because for us, what is important is we will be pointing out whatever we think are the wrongdoings or the misdoings of your government. At least you need to give us an answer of where you are going right or where we are going right.
So Dharavi, a wonderful thing. I know there's a lot of rebuilding in how it will be run. Behind that in Dharavi, we have rappers, we have artists, we have people doing, all kinds of businesses.
Yeah.
Have you walked those slums?
Many times.
And what do you think of that?
In Dharavi, we had also constructed a 111-seater toilet, which is for the first time in India, of course, constructed through CSR, when I was the Guardian Minister, where you have half and half for men and women. You have AC toilets, you have
AC toilets,
you have Western and Indian toilets, you have the laundromat for the women who work in Dharavi and also support their families. You have a whole system where the grey water is being reused into the system. So when you look at Dharavi for redevelopment, it's not only just giving them homes, it's about ensuring that the livelihoods don't go away, ensuring that each and every person who's been staying there for so many years gets their rightful home. Unfortunately, what is happening today is Mr. Adani has got 300 acres plus 240 acres, which is about 540 acres in Dharavi itself. initially which was meant to create either key-to-key homes or rehab homes in the 240 additional acres. Now, apart from this 540 acres, he wants another 540 acres across Mumbai for free. And then he will make a lot of these people living in Dharavi ineligible, ship them out to Mulund, Kurla, to Ghatkopar, to Bhandup, to Worli, to Kolaba, to different places, create a social disharmony, create those equations going off, and sell Dharavi. So he's going to earn 1 lakh crore from the external area, 540 acres of Mumbai, which he has received almost for free, and he's going to earn 1 lakh crores from Dharavi itself. I have no problem with anyone earning money out of Mumbai because Mumbai is a city of hope, city of dreams, city of aspirations. Come here, earn, become the richest in the world. You are welcome. But not at the cost of our city. You can't loot my city and earn money. Pending due of 7,500 crores from Mr. Adani and his group is yet to go to the BMC because it is the premium that you ought to pay on rehabilitation and redevelopment. It's not even reflected in the budget. Why? Because the government has exempted him of paying the due. Will the government exempt you from paying a rupee of your tax? Mumbai is our city. For us, it also stems from Mumbai Devi. It is our sacred place. Why should anyone come and loot the city? If someone wants to come and earn money, come, transact with the government, give our city whatever its due is, and do whatever you want to build.
Dadar, what does it mean to you?
For our lifetime, always, we have come to Shiv Sena Bhavan as, of course, our headquarters, our office, but also Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Park has been the birthplace of our party, and I've seen the Dasara rallies always there. It's something which is where we take our blessings from before getting onto a campaign.
And do you know that the Vada Pav wala opposite Juita?
So there is this bhaji pav you get, not pav bhaji, bhaji pav.
Bhaji pav.
Bhaji and of course vada pav also.
Oh, bhaji is the pakoda.
Yes, so it's called bhaji pav, and there's also vada pav which you get at this place called Vasaikar, which is at Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Park only. Probably the next time I'll treat you to that. It's
I would love
the
to
best.
go. So bhaji pav versus vada pav, which one do you prefer?
Like I said, Vasaikar bhaji pav and Vasaikar vada pav is my favorite personally. There's also one in Karjat that you get near our farmhouse. So that is also really nice.
Did your mom cook? Who
She does
cooked
cook,
it?
yeah.
And what kind of food do you eat at home?
In terms of our traditional food, what is the best is varan bhat. You also have curry, you have amti, but usal probably
Ussal, I
sometimes.
love ussal and missal, both.
Bhindi chi bhaji, padwal chi bhaji.
Wangi?
Wangi also. Wangi
You like wangi?
Bharit is very nice. Wangi to bharit. That is something I can... You must come home the next time for a meal.
Please
You can do
invite
that.
me.
Just say that I want to come tomorrow.
Done.
That's easier.
Maharashtra is the home of some of the most beautiful classical music, Hindustani, but also traditional folk music.
Yes.
Do you know any? Do you have favorite poets? Do you ever sing?
Classical music has a huge base in Maharashtra, especially in Pune. You'll have, the Savai Gandhara festival and all of that. So you'll obviously have a lot of these things.
But every home has a musician. Are you the musician of the Thakre home?
My grand uncle, actually, Mr. Shrikant Thackeray. So my grandfather I called Aja, and his brother, Mr. Shrikant Thackeray, was called Dadar Raja in our house because he lived in Dadar. So both grandfathers. So he was a music composer and composed a lot many songs. But he was also the one who had made Rafi Saab sing in Marathi.
Mohammed Rafi sang in
Yes,
Marathi?
for his film. As in, he was the music composer for that.
But do you sing a song as your favorite song?
You don't want your audiences to run away.
Ek to gaa do na.
नहीं यार कुछ नहीं आता है. I'm a horrible singer.
Who's your favorite performer, singer these days in India? Indian.
We've grown up listening to Sonu Nigam, right? The 90s was all about Sonu Nigam, Anu Malik ji composing it. Shankar ji is
Mahadevan.
again great.
Didn't you do some work with him?
Yes, back then when I was
With your poetry
writing
and
and then there's an
everything.
album, so I worked with all of them. Shreya Ghoshal, Sunidhi have been brilliant. Because of Instagram, you've got so many people now. Like for example, in tabla, you obviously have Aditya Kalyanpurkar, who's really good. There's Niladri on the sitar, who's
amazing.
brilliant. This Rishabh, who's
The young
come
youth
on,
sensation.
sitar, right? This girl called Maithili. I think she's she's
what
really
an incredible
good. Yeah,
bhajan. She with
very,
all those
very
women
good.
around her.
Yes.
Folk, traditional, incredible.
All Bhakti Geet, Sufi Geet. She does really good music, and she's really what I think.
Barely in the
14, 15,
20s.
yeah.
What do you think of Shirdi, Nashik? Do you go?
I go, of course. Yeah, Nashik is a very, very beautiful
And it's
place.
changed
So
a lot.
Nashik and Kolhapur actually are two cities which I love in the state of Maharashtra, which are really still green, beautiful, in pace with development and industrialization, but haven't burst out of the scope of urbanization. And Shirdi, of course,
Divinity there.
faith pulls you there.
And Kolhapur has this food tradition that I'm told is so fantastic. I haven't gone, I've eaten outside.
Of course.
And it has meat every food.
So in Kolhapur, you've got to choose between Pandra Rasa and Tamra Rasa.
And tell us about that.
There's mutton, which is either in the red sauce or white.
And there's no veggie. Because I met the woman whose family has a palace or a home there. I'm told they are the royals of Kolhapur. And she said, hum log sabzi nahi khate. I said, what? She said, no. She said, Kolhapur is about meat.
Yeah, that's salad around.
So you eat meat?
Of course I do. We've always had.
And where is the family originally from? Bombay or?
So I think our origins, of course, diverse, but largely always been in Mumbai for the last whatever.
Not Pune or?
My grandfather was born in Pune.
Pune Brahman or?
No, my grandfather was born in Pune. Of course, I don't know the caste because we've never born into anyone's caste.
How incredible is that?
So
that's the India I want to see.
Yeah.
Can we become that?
So we're also the political party, and Nitin Gadkari ji always says this, that the only political party in India, while giving a ticket, doesn't see the caste or the creed or the background of the person or the religion of the person, is ShivSena.
So very Gen Z party.
Well, from my grandfather's time, because he's believed that your merit should be identity in terms of getting a ticket.
And do you think we can take this nationally, this spirit?
I think, look, like I said, one of the movies that I feel is really, really relevant now and getting relevant even so every day is Swades. It's still relevant and prevalent today.
How was college life for you? When you went to school, you speak so well, but every answer is heartfelt, soulful, and very inclusive. Where did you learn this? Because you're sound mind and big heart.
I wouldn't know when I learned all of this because frankly, I'm just, I normally don't take questions ahead because what happens is you start thinking of answers and then you get stuck in those. It's always better to have a conversation because that's how you and I will interact off the screen, right? So it's better to do that. I was scared of the stage in school.
Why?
I don't know. I somewhere developed stage fright. I was one of those kids who, never would interact beyond the 4 or 5 kids around me. I was very shy in school. Never the mischievous one. And I often say this that, today I think the government takes me to be very mischievous. But back then, if there was one child in school who was not mischievous, it was me.
NMACC, what do you think of it?
Fantastic.
You go there often?
Very often. I was at the inauguration and it's brilliant and something that Mumbai needed and deserved for a long, long time.
So are the Ambanis the new Parsis of Bombay?
Look, I don't know about that, but the contribution to Maharashtra has been great. They've got multiple industries set up in Maharashtra, 4 brilliant schools which are the best, probably the top 5 in the world. If you're wanting to be the best of the best, maybe you go there. And of course, NMACC has been, something which is brilliant.
Malabar Hill, like Bandra, both the neighborhoods, I think if the buildings are rotting, they're old, they need rebuilding, but there's so much history.
When we were in Varshan and I was a minister, sometimes you should step out for a stroll at night, just to walk around Malabar Hill. And earlier also, while redoing Hanging Gardens or the Old Woman's Shoe, we walked around there. And I don't know, I think now it will be inaugurated. It was pending for the last 1 year. There is a 900-meter walkway that we had created on stilt without cutting a single tree near Siri Road. So once it opens up, you should visit that because that was something I was pushing for. And as tourism minister, I thought that that'll be appropriate for a city. You can see the entire Girgaon Chowpatty. You can see the Ganesh Visarjan from there. On other days, you will just feel the serenity, the beauty of that whole precinct. You can hear birds chirp. You can feel the leaves, fall off. You can hear nature around you. I think you can feel that.
The Opera House. Do you have any hit stories for the Opera House?
I visited that after it was redone. Beautiful again. See, like I said, the Opera House, the NMACC, again, also the NCPA. These are places which sort of bring to us our culture. See, Mumbai is a city that runs 24/7. We work 24/7, right? When you work through and through, you need to have places to go to, be it eateries, be it shopping malls, be it spas, be it gyms, or be it a Coldplay concert or a classical concert or a theatre play that's coming in, or a cafe that's really, just a nice walk. But we need our downtime as a city. Any city in the world that works so much needs it. I think that is very important. One of the things we had started, again, shut down by this government, I don't know why, is something like the New Year festivities. I got everyone on board saying, the Gateway of India must have fireworks. The Sea Link must have fireworks. Something in, say, suburbs, Juhu or Warsaw must have fireworks. If Sydney can have it, if Tokyo can announce its New Year, why doesn't Mumbai announce its New Year?
Wonderful.
We need to have culture built into our system, art built into our system, are art galleries. You know, there's so many good works that come in. The Mumbai Art Week comes in now.
Yeah.
Like Delhi
Kala
Art Week,
Ghoda
right?
also.
And why not?
When you're eating, would you pick Chaitanya, Sri Thakur Bhojanalaya, or Swati Snacks? If you had to pick one.
Frankly, I haven't eaten, I mean, Swati Snacks and Chaitanyas have eaten at other places, but not been
You haven't
there to
gone
eat.
into them?
Not yet. I've eaten all of
Swati, you haven't gone into?
Not yet. I'll be very honest, but I've eaten at friends' homes.
From
very
there.
often from there.
And Sri Thakur Bhojanalaya?
Not really.
Never
no.
eaten?
No.
So I'll take you there. And Chaitanya?
Again, at different places, but
So where do you go if you have to eat a simple...
see, you know, of late what has happened is, my friends will hate me for saying this, but they've become busy with their family lives and their, you know, kids and all that. So very often we end up at each other's homes only, and that's why we call for food.
So when are you going to have that family and that wife and children?
You know, frankly, till now I didn't know the answer as to be going here and there, but now I've left it to the family saying, you're fine. So now the stress that was on me saying, when are you going, you know, when are you going to get married and this and
Arranged
that.
marriage you want?
No, I mean, obviously you want to like fall in love, but I've given the rights to my family saying, you look. So now the stress is now on the other side.
Are they looking?
Guessing so now I'm busy with my work again. I don't get asked.
Is it a date that the family has decided? You're
I don't
not
know.
given a date.
Frankly, I don't know. I'm busy with work. And that's the only reason, jokingly at home, my parents say that they support one nation, one poll, because every cycle of polls I make no marriage topic right now because you've got elections coming. So they're like, you know, we'll support one nation, one poll for that.
So I'll be naughty here and ask you a question. You can only say positive. 3 things you admire about Mr. Modi. Prime Minister Modi.
Oh, I thought you were asking about someone else.
3 things you respect about.
No, look, you know, there was a certain time that we were close, the certain time that both the sides were very close. We still respect him. You know, the way he's built a certain belief at a certain point from 2010 to 2014 and 2019
India.
onwards in branding himself and his party. I think the machine that they've created in terms of electioneering, the way they've sort of got a grip over, you know, the election commission and the grip over the central agencies. I think 3 things really admirable.
About Shashi Tharoor. 3 things you like about Shashi Tharoor.
Look, he's a really nice person you could connect with. Very intelligent, very well-read, very soft-spoken at the same time. And I think a delightful conversation to have with the person.
I think of you as Shashi with even more linguistic skills because you can talk in several native languages.
I hope I can add up to the charm and at a certain point.
No, you can. Smriti Irani.
You know, she and I have campaigned together. Whenever we meet, it's very cordial. Politics takes people apart. Politics takes people to 2 different ends. And I hope at a certain point in life, you know, politics will come back to the normal that my grandfather's time saw, where you could be political rivals
And still be close.
and still be friends. You know, still share a good relationship.
That's why I asked, because these 3 people are very visibly respected and also dynamic. And I think you are they're much older than you. So I think you are the new generation of that. And I see you as that. I want to see you very soon as a leader who takes us to the next level of Indian politics.
Thank you. I think it's got to be all of us. You know, for a billion of us, all billion of us have to stand up and collectively think of where we want to go as a country. Because today, frankly, I see a lot of social strife, a lot of cultural wars, a lot of disharmony, a lot of misgivings and misinformation going around, a lot of distrust in our society. I see neighbors fighting neighbors. It's really sad where you see that. It's also fashion for some people to say AI is a new thing. And truly, if you see where artificial intelligence and AGI can also lead us as a country in terms of healthcare, in terms of our requirements as healthcare, in terms of our needs, in terms of our efficiency in infrastructure, I think at a certain time we move towards that. I think at a certain time we reform education to look forward. Personally, I'm a reader of history. I love history. But I think political parties keep indulging us, keep us fighting over history. You can't just keep fighting over who was right, who was wrong 50 years ago, 100 years ago, which culture was great, which was not great. Everyone who's from history will be looking down on at us saying, you know, what are you doing now? We've lived our lives, we've lived our eras. What about the future? Are you building something for the future? Look at how climate is impacting us.
What is the biggest climate crisis we are about to face?
You know, frankly,
That's Bombay.
I'll tell
Bombay
you
crisis.
as more as I'll speak as a countrywide. a country that is 1 billion plus today. We're a country on the threshold of development. I won't say we're fully developed as yet. We're aspiring to develop. We're aspiring to pull in industry from around the world. And we also have a growing, huge middle class, which will be the biggest market for the world, right? There's a book called The Human Tide. It also explains why India, and then after 50 years, Africa will be probably the biggest market in the world, purely because of its population and the growth opportunities, irrespective of the political ideology or party ruling you. But having said that, today, if we are hit by climate emergencies, India will be the hardest hit. You know, at COPs and at multiple of these forums, be it Davos, be it COP, be it multiple forums, I see a lot of us differentiating between the global north and the global south. And you've invested so much, how much have we invested? Why should we fall back? Yes, all of those economic arguments may be true. But on ground, when states like Delhi, when states like Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Gujarat start declaring holidays for cold waves in winter, heat waves in the summer, and pollution, think of the school days you're losing for every child who is going to school. When you have all of these states, shutting down industries, think of the efficiency and the productivity days you're losing for our industrial workforce. When you have landslides in the rural areas and in urban areas, probably in some of our cities that have hills.
We had Valkeshwar.
Yeah, right. You have landslides in Vikhroli, you have landslides in Raigad, you have landslides in multiple places, or floods or droughts. Think of the social distress you're causing to the people who are migrating from one village to another by force, because now that village is not habitable anymore. When our farmers are facing a drought and a flood in the same year, and their harvest seasons go for a toss, when our food system is impacted, think of what will we have to eat over the next 10 years. Years ago, when Malthus said that we'll face a famine and the human population will decline, you had intervention by machines and tech, and you survived that. And that fear was sort of allayed by the intervention of technology. Now, the only variable that was constant back then, which is climate, is now
dancing,
fluctuating so much that our food systems are being impacted. And I think as a world, we need to start thinking about what will happen to our food systems when you will have climate change hitting them harder than what it is being hit today.
Have you tried grasshoppers as food?
No, I haven't gone to that extreme. There was a certain point in my life I would have gone for it, but now I'm a little more...
With a little thecha and...
Still no.
To replace the bhaji pav?
No,
Not willing to try?
At a certain point, like I said, I would have probably gone for it, but I'm a little more conservative on the food system now.
When you were...
Have you tried grasshoppers?
I have. I've
Crispy?
tried monkey brains crispy. I've had almost everything. You can't shock me with food, even though I was mostly vegetarian. Do you work out every day?
I try to keep 1 hour,
So
not every day, but at least 4 times a week to work out.
What's your go-to song to listen to when you need comfort of words, of a familiar voice?
No, see, sometimes I like instrumental. So obviously you have Zakir Bhai's tabla, sometimes.
So when Zakir Bhai passed, what happened to you? What did you feel? Because he's a Mumbai card as well as...
It was a moment of shock, of course, because see, we haven't had too many interactions with him, but some of these people, they've been playing instruments on your ears unknowingly for so many years, because see, my father loves to listen to music. My mother, of course, listens to music. Very often in a household, we keep, something going on when we're traveling or something. So you're listening to them. My father's clicked Zakir Bhai 10 years ago. Yes. He, in fact, you see it on his Instagram. My father's Instagram is absolutely purely non-political.
And does he do it himself? Or
Yeah, himself, of course. And he
How
manages
cool is he? Wow.
Yeah. See, you'll find my Instagram more political than his. His is purely to do with photography. But, so, of course, it was a moment of shock for us and a deep loss for the music world. Obviously, one of my go-to all the time is Michael Jackson.
Which song?
All of them. I mean, there's so many. They don't really care about us. Scream, History, Black or White. You've got Liberian Girl. You've got so many. His Invincible album was one of the most underrated ones, but I think it's really beautiful.
Do you love him because you met him, or you actually do love his music too?
See, it's a mix of both, right? Basically, when he came home, there was a funny time where I was, I think, in the first standard, and we were called half-day home. And of course, parents, everyone in the family was really kicked about it. There's a red carpet from the main gate to our home, and we we've always only seen that kind of mania for my grandfather, the kind of people shouting, cheering, jumping on the car. And suddenly me and a couple of my cousins are seeing this one car enter, people screaming from the rooftops around, people going crazy. And I'm like, who is this person walking in? And then, of course, I didn't know who he was. I was 5 or 6 years old. 96 the concert was, so I was 6 years old. And I sat on my grandfather's lap. And my cousins had jumped onto Michael Jackson by then. Someone's clicking a photo, someone's taking an autograph, people are jumping over. I see a CD where Bappi Da is around in that video. And eventually he called me onto his lap, Michael Jackson. And there's a photo of me sitting on his lap. I still don't know who he was. The next day, we went for the concert. And I was like, oh man, this is something. This is something out of the world.
And at that age, you knew.
And then the third day, he came unannounced to our house. And he's clicked pictures with the entire security staff, police, everyone around, sat on the floor, clicked pictures with everyone. Phenomenal. I think he's come to our house twice back then in that tour. And then after that, started following Michael Jackson and used to sort of wear clothes like him, do the moonwalk and all of that.
Can you do the moonwalk for us?
No, not anymore. But maybe off camera, you and I can do that. But anyway, so, after that, it stayed with me. It's something that's stayed with me always.
Do we have an Indian singer that's going to do what Michael Jackson did to me?
Look, I don't think anyone in the world, in terms of his popularity, in terms of the purity of his lyrics, in terms of the causes he took up. The Earth song was about climate change. They don't really care about racism and, way before anyone spoke about it. The whole trailer for History, the way he's marching into it and the kind of stuff he managed back then when you had no social media. The kind of stuff when there was no AI, when there was no, not much of a green screen thing. The kind of stuff he's managed, the way he came onto the stage, be it for the bad tour, the dangerous tour, the history tour, all of that. I don't think there's anybody who thinks in that 360-degree perspective.
I think you do. So I think of you as that. Social media will make the new wave of politicians either make it or be broken by it. What do you do to keep your game on and at it?
I think I just be honest. And sometimes you've got to, all the times you've got to speak your mind. Sometimes you need to know, basically, do you jump into the rat race or do you stay out? But the most important thing is keep speaking your mind.
So tell us 3 things that you want my viewers, who I hope will love this conversation, things that you've never told us before that make you a human beyond Aaditya Thackeray.
I don't know. It's...
You have no fears?
See, everyone today is fearing what is happening in the world, right? The fact that you might just have someone sparking off World War III is a big fear. Of course, in school you feared your teachers and all that, but definitely don't fear the government. That's what I want to tell the people. If you're right, don't be scared of anything. You can be scared of your doctor, you can be scared of your parents, you can respect them, and you can be fearful of God, which you ought to be. I think there's that sense of gratefulness, that's a sense of respect, fear of God that has to be there. But if you're not wrong, don't fear the system, don't fear the government.
And what are you excited about in the future?
I think I'm excited about, obviously, the kind of opportunities we as young people, and obviously every other age, we can bring to our country and to the world. I'm obviously excited about the way AI is moving forward, tech is moving forward in terms of easing our lives out. I don't think it'll replace many jobs, but it'll make life a lot more easier for people on the jobs too. You have obviously now the world moving towards, things like SpaceX and what private enterprises are doing. The other day I was seeing there's a supersonic flight that's coming and taking over the world, trying to sort of bring distances close. So all of that is going on. That's very exciting. I think these entrepreneurs, these people who are sort of the path breakers, who we would probably consider crazy at one point, will be the people who bring some of the exciting things to our planet.
A city, a restaurant, and a movie that you want to visit, see, and enjoy next.
I think a city that I would probably want to see is, I don't think if it's a city or not, but of course keep traveling all over India, that's something which you obviously love, like places like Udaipur or Jaipur or even, Mahabaleshwar, all of these places are something you keep visiting. But one place I really want to visit in terms of photography is probably Svalbard. It's right up near the North Pole, and it's got these extremities where you have the midnight sun and you have 6 months of darkness. You can also see, I think, some of these Arctic creatures the Arctic fox and all of that coming. So in terms of photography, maybe.
So you do photography? You
I dabble in it, but only for
carry
my
the-
Instagram. I used to carry around a camera, but now it's the phone.
Thank you for joining me and thank you for making time for us.
Thank you.
And I really admire you and I really want you to be our next leader. Because you
Thank you so
bring
much.
all
I
of
think-
India with you. Thank you.
All of us together will take India forward.
I can't let you go without taking something from Amul. So here, this is a taste of India. So I hope you enjoy
I
trying
think the
it.
products, of course, are good, but the cartoons that they put up and the caricatures they put up. Also, what is beautiful is they don't have a billion hoardings in a city, right? They put up one in one particular location and catches the eye.
And it really carries the pulse of India and it's shown the world how an industry can change not just a nation but the planet. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for hearing my conversation with Aaditya Thackeray. Join us for more. Follow us, keep hearing us and keep sharing it with your loved ones. You answer the more than okay.